What's going on, guys? This is Juan with Green Grounds Lawn Service, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the pros and cons of using those apps that allow you to place bids on lawns. Blind bids, by the way. Particularly we're going to be focusing on GreenPal because in my area that is where I see the most movement as far as those apps go. You have Lawn Starter, you have I forgot the name of the other one, Lawn Zap, something like that. But anyway, GreenPal is our culprit and hero here. Let me explain. It is a hero because you get, depending on your radius, you get potential customers that are looking for service, and therefore you can place a bid. Now, when you place a bid for each customer's property, the first 5 bids locks in that customer. So as soon as that customer has received 5 bids from competitors and yourself possibly, they can no longer receive any more bids. So the customer is left with a choice to pick between those bids. The issue is they are blind bids, and it's first come, first serve. So you kind of have to take in a decent amount of information by the time you're placing that bid, because it doesn't tell you when is the last time that it was mowed, if it's the lawn has been maintained. All they really say is, whether they want or they're interested in service every couple of weeks or things of that nature. You get the size of the lot. Sometimes you get a picture from Google Maps of who knows when, which is not a recent photo, so you can't really know the state that the lawn is in. So in this particular case, later in this video, you're gonna see this particular property that prompted me to create this video, because it clearly had not been touched, maintained, mowed in any sort of way for at least 4 months. It definitely hasn't been touched this year, guaranteed. So I placed a bid, and it seems, like a regular lawn. But when I show up, absolutely long weeds. It's a mess of a lawn. And so I showed up having bid $45 for this lawn. I was like, yeah, I'll be able to get this lawn mowed in 40 minutes, give or take. So 45 is a good solid number. However, that wasn't the case. I had to go back on the app, select cancel, and then the reason for cancellation is that the lawn was way too long, and then I had to requote them. So it's a waste of time to just have gone out to that property, because I don't get a response right away if they've approved that requote. And what happens is, now the following day it shows up on the schedule, which means that they finally did accept the requote, and I have to, go to that property. Luckily, they did accept the repricing, but it's just a waste of time. This is the second time I'm coming to this property in less than 24 hours, and it's to cut an overgrown piece of land. So here, let's go cut to that property so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So guys, we're here at the property now. Here, the tripod is ground level, so you can kind of see the length of that. Have a look. It's pretty insane. Look at this. The tripod is ground level. Absolutely grown out of proportion. It's wild. But let's get to work, buddy. Guys, the game plan was pretty simple. I was going to start off with the weed whacker, be able to get down some of those taller weeds that were going to be a little bit difficult to go under the mower. Basically just weed whack as much as I could, which was honestly most of it, edge, and then start going over with the mower. Next, I went over by the mailbox, cleaned that area out, give it that nice edge, move on to the other side of the front yard, which was a little bit better, quote unquote, but it was still very overgrown, very dry. A lot of weeds, a lot of vines. It's just a mess. Some people take pride in their lawns, in their properties. Some people it's just an afterthought. But there you see them, Mercedes with a lack of care for their property. Some people have their priorities a little bit backwards, but hey, they finally got me out here. All right, I have not seen the back, so this is a blind review for both of us. All right, it is not as bad as I thought. It's mostly dead. Okay. It's not great, but it's not horrible. Guys, I want to draw your attention to what you're about to see, which is essentially me going with the trimmer over these very green areas right there. That is where I stepped into poop while going over with the mower. You kind of, if it wasn't a time lapse, you would see me kind of stop and hesitate for a second before deciding I just wanted to get the heck out of here as quickly as possible because of what happened. Guys, I may have just mowed over a broken septic tank. I'm gonna show you what I mean. This is the house of terror of sorts. Holy crap. Also, side note, wrong day to wear shorts. Holy God. Look at this. Insane. Yeah, I have a lot more to say about this house. Hang on. So to bring my day here to a close, I decided to I didn't decide to. Part of the job is to blow. So went back to the front, cleaned up that front area, blew away all the debris that I could, and then went on to the back. But I don't want to bore you with just blowing. So yeah. All right, guys. So off camera, finished cleaning up. Now, let's break it down. So guys, it was a house of terrors of sorts for me. And I know I mentioned earlier, wrong day to wear shorts. Yes, it was. With all those weeds, I got a bunch of chickpea weeds and a bunch of those that, I forgot what's the name of it, but the ones that stick to you and have like 1,000 little needles. Let's just say my legs are perforated all over from those little weeds. As I was going over with the weed whacker, it was just like shooting into my legs. Things that I learned with this lawn. I mean, I have cut lawns like this before, but it had been quite a bit since I cut such an overgrown lawn. And what I want to say is, whenever you want to cut anything like that, don't charge less than 100. They probably finally hired somebody because the city reached out and is ready to slap them with a fine that's probably upwards of 200 or 250 bucks. And typically with these fines, for every day that it doesn't get taken care of, the fine just keeps on going up. So keep that in mind and use that to your advantage in getting a fair price for your time and your labor for what you're going to be doing. Because all the money that they saved in not mowing this property for like 4 or 5 months is money that in one lump sum you can just charge and tell them, listen, I can take care of it for you right now, or next day the city's gonna just keep on stacking those fees. I have dog hair all over me too, because they have a dog that obviously sheds, and there was balls of hair in the yard, and then with the blower it got all on me. So I'm paying the consequences right now. Now I have to definitely get my car cleaned. I'm not gonna say I'm the neatest guy in my car. It's a bit of a mess, but it's a clean mess. It's a mess, but it's not that dirty. That is my rant of the day. Those bidding apps work in growing your client base, but ultimately there's nothing like having a potential client reach out to you, you go to the property, have a walkthrough, talk with the owner, have an intelligent conversation, tell them what needs to be done in order for them to reach their lawn goal, Some people that just want it cut, some people want to have a manicured, pristine looking lawn, and it's up to you to sell them on that. So that's the story of the day. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna keep posting videos. I know it had been a little while since I had posted a video, but I recently posted my taxes. Yeah, if you haven't seen that, first year in business, check it out. Also very important announcement. I'm starting a Patreon. Well, I already started it. Just this is the first video where I'm actually letting you guys know that I'm starting a Patreon. Absolutely very cheap memberships, because there's different tiers. I'll show you a little bit of behind the scenes, some of the videos that don't actually make it onto YouTube. If you guys are interested at all as to how I record some of the videos, or maybe the apps that I use to edit the videos, or maybe you guys want to see a breakdown of my estimates for the bigger jobs, I can provide all of that via documents, examples of how my estimates look like, the level of detail that I go into, how I always get 50% of the cost of big projects up front, and pretty much anything that's over $250, I always charge 50% up front, just because I want to tie that customer to that commitment. If it's just regular lawn mowing, I don't really hold anybody up to a contract. We go on a month-to-month basis. You're happy with the work, you're gonna continue with me. If you're not happy with the work, we can have a conversation, I can adjust, and we can continue working. But I don't like to hold customers to a year commitment. I find that an open relationship with them is the best tactic. That way they don't feel like they have to put up with service if they're unhappy with it. And if I'm unhappy with a customer that is just nagging a little bit too much, asking for extras here and there without thinking that there is extra payment that is required, either of us can just walk away. But I'm rambling a little bit too much. Let me know what you guys want to see. I'm also creating a WhatsApp group for the Patreon, for the exclusive membership. That one we can have an open conversation. There's a limited amount of people that can join that particular Patreon. You will be added to a WhatsApp aside from the public chat within that Patreon. So I want to harness a community of lawnpreneurs, if I can coin that term, lawnpreneurs, for us to just share ideas, share what works for us, share what hasn't worked for us, and just really develop an ongoing community. You guys in the comments have been fantastic always. Whenever I post a question out there in a video, you guys participate, you guys give your 2 cents, and it's awesome. A lot of people, including myself, when I started, it was because I saw YouTube videos. All right, guys, I'm talking a little bit too much now. So if you like the video, like, comment, subscribe. Let's talk about it a little bit more. Join me in the Patreon. We can talk about what works, what doesn't. And without further ado, catch you next time.